Morning. I was listening to K-Pacha in the shower. He does the Pele report every week, and he talks about the astrology for the week, and I don't think I finished it, but it was super inspirational. He was talking about contrast, although I think he was calling it something different. Hold on. This bitch. I finally remembered. I forgot to turn my mics on. So, I was watching K-Pacha. He was talking about embracing chaos. And so, it was bringing up to mind the principle of, Zen, the yin-yang, balance for me in my mind. And it was also making me think about this lecture. Just wish I could remember what it was called, but I've listened to so many hours of Ram Dass lectures on YouTube. It could be any number of them would be worth listening to, but so I'm like looking away from the camera because I'm trying to recall everything. So I'm sorry for not making eye contact with you, but I'm here, I promise. I'm doing one of those right now. So Ram Dass. He is an Aries, Sun, Virgo, Moon. I do not remember his rising at this moment, but his philosophies are some of my most favorite. But when it comes to embracing chaos or contrast or, the yin-yang principle, when it comes to Buddhism, we embrace, the idea is the concept that we embrace suffering because life is suffering. You can't get away from it. And being uncomfortable is exactly where you need to be in order to grow. Getting out of your comfort zone. So I have all these thoughts in my mind about this chaos thing because I have Uranus trine my Mercury and Venus. And my Uranus is in Sagittarius. So I tend to have the best thoughts, the best in periods of enlightenment through completely letting go of the wheel and letting the chips fall where they may, being a little crazy, not necessarily like having a general plan, but not necessarily planning it to death. Kind of getting lost is one of my favorite things to do when I'm in a new place. That's how I generally find my way around. So, I don't know. It's this type of thing where the brilliance of art can be channeled through the unknown. And that's pretty much where I'm kind of getting at right now in my head is if we always have this vice grip of death on planning everything and not going with your impulses, then you'll never really create art. You'll never have that ability to connect with your emotions to the point that you're in the zone and you can just break all the rules. In art, the weirder you get, the better it is. The more people you're going to reach, the more cerebral the more things are, the art doesn't work as much. You can't intellectualize art. It will not work. So when you're an artist, when you have a desire to create as a person, excuse me, you have an element of this chaos inside you. And it doesn't matter if you're disciplined or not. It'll come out, but the ones that have the discipline will be the most prolific. They will have the most to turn around and offer the world when they're dead, really. And so, and I always keep that in mind when I'm talking to myself in my head about this contrast, whatever it may be, right now I'm about to leap into the unknown with a newer, adding a new job in January. So I have all this. It's the unknowns that are really playing with me in my mind. So that chaos of the unknown is going to probably be more of an opportunity than I could ever realize. That's how it works. When you have opportunity, you can't let your fear tell you no, make you say no. So, let me say that again. Your fear can get in your way and block your blessings in the way that it makes you want to say no to something that you're afraid to do. So, it's definitely like looking a gift horse in the mouth. If you don't accept the opportunities, hey girl, what's up? I'm talking about contrast. I didn't put anything in the live like border because I'm winging it. I'm thinking about the Uranian energy. We have Venus opposite Uranus. I was watching an astrologer talk about embracing chaos, and I'm just sitting here riffing on that, and then I might pull some cards. So, I was saying that the more you can embrace chaos and be an artist and be in the moment, you can allow surprises. You can get in the zone of having things come out of the dark and surprise you. And oddly enough, I've had a lot of money come to me out of nowhere, just like throughout my life. It's always in a weird way, and it's not always. It's something that I didn't have to earn. A lot of times, it's something that just boomerangs. It's my own energy in escrow, and it's just like coming back, and it has the weirdest timings, the weirdest amounts of money, but it's just like that's one of the ways that it manifests in my life. My desires get met in really strange ways a lot of times because I have like desire is ruled by Venus. It's enshrined to Uranus in my case. So I have a very deep relationship with this transit where it comes to like the Venus opposite Uranus. It's just a slightly different energy. Trines are harmonious and oppositions are exactly how it sounds. It's an opposition where there's a challenge involved, like a blockage or something to put in a position. You can't really deal with any Uranian energy without embracing some fucking chaos. And when you're talking about Venus, that's talking about you're just things you want out of life, things to touch, things to smell, things to feel, things you want to eat, everything you want. Your desire set. It's like love too in a way, but that's really limiting Venusian expression. Venus is art, it's texture, it's like a lower. Venus and Uranus are very connected in the way that in mythology, Uranus in, I believe, Greek. I am so horrible at these original names, but the story of Venus's birth is that Uranus got his dick cut off basically and thrown into the ocean, and that's where Venus was birthed from, was through that trauma. But so there's an element of there's some bloodthirsty shit in mythology, but we have this marriage of, there's connection between Venus and Uranus always. But when they do have a connection, like an opposition, a trine, a square, there's so many different ways you can divide a chart math-wise, so I don't want to break it down too far. But we will have to embrace some type of chaos in order to make something beautiful out of it. Period. So without further ado, if I'm going to pull some tarot today, I'm going to say the little card prayer and then get this posted, because I've noticed that people's attention retention is really shitty. So I don't want to tempt fate here. I'm doing a little card prayer because I haven't done it yet. I'm asking that the spirits of truth, love, light, and benevolent darkness enter the space And I'm asking for any negative energy to please leave. Anybody who does watch this at any given time can invite their teams from the other side, their spirit guides, their ancestors, anybody that they are used to working with that has their highest good in mind. They may come into this circle. And I ask that my ego to be removed so that I can deliver these messages as clearly and concisely as possible. Like, I really want to step out of the way. I want nothing to do with this reading. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to pull 3 cards like I always do, and we'll see what we get out of it. I'm feeling like it should be an advice do-don't today because of the chaos that we're about to embrace. Okay. Advice, a do, and a don't. I really didn't plan this too much. I just sort of winging it. Hey, I'm about to pull some cards. Maybe they left. I don't know. There was another person. Oh, spicy. Oh, no. I shuffled. Fuck. I swear to God. Okay, so again, for a different question, for a different set of things. Okay, so we're starting with the Moon card, which deals with illusion. This thing about there is contrast, but it's like inverse. It's like at the inversion of, the contrast. When you invert a picture and everything dark becomes light and everything light becomes dark. It's very much that's the feeling I'm getting, because I'm already discussing this contrast where the way we see things might not be as they are. The Do card, it's the devil. It's okay to become hyper-focused is what I'm hearing. Like, if this is more of a hyper-focused thing more than addiction, please God, no. The devil card is so, what's the word? It's provocative. Because it literally means so much. It can mean sex, it can mean obsession, it can mean being literally tied down to things, enslaved, manipulated, which was also on my mind to talk about today for some reason, was passive aggressiveness and manipulation, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I already have too much to say. But again, these cards have very contrast-oriented elements. So we are still dealing with the black and the white, the yin yang yin. I forgot to say what Ram Dass liked to say. Ram Dass, he inspires me in the way that his philosophy is to talk to himself like this in his mind, to accept the contrast and this too. Accept this situation and also this too, in order to see the black and white, the both sides of everything. Because a lot of times we can get limited in the way we perceive things. We want it to be one way, and we will not be able to accept the other person's point of view unless we accept that other contrast, or you know what I'm saying. So that's what I'm talking about, is all of that. So I would say that the advice card is realize the more you know. The true knowledge is knowing that you know nothing, like Socrates said. True knowledge is knowing you know nothing. The more you know, the more you have to learn. Okay? And when it comes to things that I feel like this has to do with, be obsessed with creating balance, be obsessed with the idea that you're curious, that you don't have it all nailed down. There are things out of your control in this life that you have no control over. We are all chained to this life with a belly button. We have no escape here. So I feel like this is more about that. So the advice card is to just go ahead, be hyper-focused, be a little obsessive, because this is the Venus opposite Uranus thing. We have to embrace that pull that we have. that attraction that we might be feeling, because it's going to create something, okay? And the don't is, don't fidget, don't change course in the middle of where you're going. I would say this says explore. This is the Knight of Wands. Explore your passion. But I would say do it in a way that is sincere. Be authentic with it. I would say this is being the don't card. Don't put your toe in the water unless you're willing to get in. If you're going to be halfway about anything, you can't play with this energy. You have to go all in. Okay? That's what I'm seeing. Yeah. So fully, I would say definitely get into the any Ram Dass, I would say even listen to an audiobook of the Tao Te Ching. I hope I'm not butchering that. Tao Te Ching. That, or it's Tao Te Ching is the way it's spelled, but I think it's Tao Te Ching. But I've read it, and it was so clarifying in the way that it's embracing the fact that by doing nothing, you're actually doing everything. So I'm circling back around. I'm just about done. I see we have another person just jumping in, but this is the don't card. So again, reiterating, this is don't be frivolous. Don't be, go by divine impulse and stick with it. Okay, like don't jump in the waters. Don't jump in the waters if you can't swim. You need to dive deep, like really go headlong into this. Realize this is the do card. Advice, do, don't. Okay, so advice, like literally realize the more you learn, the more you have to learn. Become obsessed with it. Be obsessed with looking at the things through the inverse. Advice, be obsessive with it. These are really heavy duty cards, but this is like has to do with again, this Venusian thing has everything to this has to do with materialism too. So it's physical, spiritual, perceptive. Okay, so literally don't change courses too much. Be driven, keep focus. Okay, that's the message today. We're embracing chaos. We're doing a little bit of everything. We have some impulses, but we also have some dedication that we need to prove. So it's everything all in one, as always. So literally the light is fluctuating so much during this thing. This is so wild. But anyway, thank you all for listening, and I pray that you have a really beautiful day. I love you guys.